Okay, you guys are going to have some opportunities now to practice some solving of linear equations with distribution. And I'm going to provide you guys with two different examples to help you get started with this DeltaMath assignment. So for instance, here's a problem. Right here, -3 times -4x plus 2 minus 5x equals x plus 7. And our goal is to solve for x. So the first thing you guys are going to want to do is distribute in order to get rid of our parentheses, okay? And then eventually combine like terms and start moving your terms around. So -3 times -4x will give us a 12x. -3 times a positive 2 would give us a -6x. And then I'm going to, whoops, what did I do there? Let's take away that x there. -6, bring down the minus 5x equals x plus 7. And then we look to see if we have any like terms that we can combine on either side of the equation. Well, I noticed that I have this and this that are like terms on this side, and on the right-hand side of the equation, I don't have any like terms. So 12x minus 5x will be a 7x. I'll bring down the minus 6 equals x plus 7. Now I want to bring all the x's to one side and all the constants on the right-hand side of the equation. So I'm going to bring this x over by subtracting x on both sides. So I end up with 6x minus 6. Those end up canceling, and I have a 7. And now I want to move the 6 over to the right-hand side, so I need to undo it by adding 6 on both sides. That now causes that -6 and positive 6 to disappear. And now I'll come down here and say 6x equals 13. And now I need to divide by 6 on both sides so that my x becomes a 1x, and 13 doesn't divide by 6 equally, so I'll leave it as an improper fraction. So my solution is x equals 13 over 6. You guys are also going to have problems whereby you are going to solve for x, but your equations are going to have fractions in them. So I wanted to make sure that we reviewed how to do those as well. Again, you are going to want to distribute first anywhere that you can. And so again, the 3/4 needs to distribute to both the 5x and the positive 8. Remember, when you are multiplying fractions, numerators multiply with numerators and denominators with denominators. So 3/4 times 5x, that's like saying 3/4 times 5 over 1, okay? And obviously there's an x next to that 5. So you are going to multiply the 3 and the 5 and the 4 and the 1. So this is going to become 15 over 4. And then there's the x next to it. Plus, we'll do the same thing again. 3/4 times the 8, which is the same thing as 8 over 1. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and we'll get 24 over 4 equals 13. Now, we can look at this right here and notice that the 24 over 4 can be reduced to a whole number. So let's go ahead and do that. So 15/4 x plus 6 equals 13. Then I'm going to want to subtract 6 on both sides to start solving for my x. Okay. So that becomes 15 over 4x equals 7. And here's where students get a little confused as to what we need to do. Don't forget, to get rid of a fraction, what you want to do is multiply by the reciprocal of that fraction. because that way you'll notice if I multiply by the reciprocal of that fraction, in this case 4 over 15, what that helps is that it eliminates the numerator and the denominators to become 1, because 15 divided by 15 becomes a 1, and a 4 divided by 4 becomes a 1, and that forces our x now to come down and be isolated. But whatever you did on the left-hand side of the equal sign, you must do it on the right-hand side. So I need to multiply by 4 over 15 on this side as well. Okay? And then multiplying 7 by 4 over 15 is like saying 7 over 1 times 4 over 15. So I'm going to multiply those numbers. That becomes 28 over 15. Now neither 28 or 15 can be reduced any further because neither one have a common multiple to reduce by. So my final answer will be an improper form of x equals 28 over 15. Hope this helps.